everybody, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, I'm sorry. So let me give you a little bit of background about this school. At the time, I was in 6th grade. It was the very last class of the day, and I had English, and so this substitute teacher walked in, and I recognized him because a lot of people said that he was very, very mean. He was just a mean teacher, and he had a short fuse, so I kind of made a mental note, just be nice, be respectful, go home, just survive this substitute teacher. And I'm like, if anything, probably one of the bad kids in this class will get in trouble, but I mean, me wouldn't. What am I gonna do to offend this guy? Nothing. I'm just do your work and go home. And so he takes roll, and we're sitting there, and he tells us, oh, get your books. And our books were under our chairs in a little rack. It was like those desks that have a desk and it's attached to the chair, and then under the chair has the little rack, and that's where the teacher would leave the class books. So our books could be scattered. Some people had 2, some people had 1, some people didn't have any, some people had to get one from the back, and they were always scattered like that. And so I didn't have one, and instead of getting up and getting one, I thought maybe if I do that I'll get in trouble with this teacher. So I raised my hand and I was like, oh, Mr. blah blah blah, I don't have a book. And he looks at me and he says, do you want to go to the office? And I looked at him and I was like, what do you mean? I don't have, no, I don't have a book under my desk. These are the class books. I don't have one. Can I get one from the back? And he starts yelling at me. Telling me, oh, I'm going to write you up for destruction of school property. And I'm sitting there boy, I can't even get my hands on school property, apparently. I can't. What do you mean destruction of school property? I didn't do anything. I just don't have a book. And he's yelling at me and telling me he's going to write me up, that he's going to send me to the principal, that I'm going to get suspended. And at this point in time, I doing things wrong and getting in trouble, or being yelled at or anything. I don't like doing that. So I'm sitting there getting yelled at by this old man who I am now terrified of. He just kept saying things like that, and I was sitting there and I was trying to explain, and he just, shut up, or I'm gonna send you to the office. But he stopped yelling at me at some point, and he told me, go over there. And he pointed in the middle of this little gap that we had. It was the wall, and then the shelves attached to the wall, just nailed in. And then we had that little thing, the TV, the little thing that the little cart that you would put the TV on, and they would have them in classrooms, and it was against the shelves. And so there was a little space, and it made a little cave down here. And I apparently fit in there because that's where he told me to go sit. And so that's where I was sitting. And he starts making rounds around the class and stuff. And I'm sitting there. I'm scared. I'm sad. I'm annoyed. I'm angry. And I I'm kind of panicking a little. And so the teacher is making rounds, and every time he walks past me, he looks at me and he rolls his eyes, or he shakes his head, or he looks at me like dirt. And I'm sitting there what the hell did I even do to you? It's like I offended you and all of your ancestors. I didn't do anything that bad, okay? I just wanted a book. And so what happens? Yeah, he's walking around, and I start calming down, I'm like, okay, you know what, just calm down, just my breathing is, slowing down. I'm starting to feel a lot more centered. And this he had to ruin it. He just had to ruin it. He walked by me again, and this time he looked at me and he said, pathetic. He was like, and he just kept walking. And I sat there, I swear to God, my mouth dropped because I was in such shock. Like, what? Like, what did I even do to you? Like, which one of your ancestors did I offend with my question about getting a book? What did I do? Like, I don't understand. Is it my shirt? Is it offensive? We had uniforms. That's the worst part. We had uniforms. What did I do? And so I'm sitting there and I start crying because, I mean, when somebody looks at you like you're a piece of shit and they call you pathetic, it hurts, okay? I mean, that's just, it was bad. Like, he literally looked like he had this boiling hatred of me. Like, I don't know. It was weird. And so I started crying, and that's when he realized he fucked up. So he keeps walking, and he goes and he sits at the desk, and he's just pretending to look through papers and writing stuff down and kind of trying to ignore me. But I'm sitting there, I'm crying, you know. And at this point, I'm kind of like rubbing it in his face, like... just to like make him feel bad, because I can see him from where I am, and he's just kind of like, oh shit, he's getting like a little nervous. I saw his hands start to shake, and he was like, oh, shit, I have to do something. So he comes up to me and he says, go do your work, get your backpack and go sit over there. And I was like, okay. So I grabbed my stuff and I went and did my work. At this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm tired. I just want to go home. And sleep for the next, 30 years. And so I go and I do my work, and class ends, and I go outside, and I'm waiting for my sister where I usually wait for her. But she would always go with her friends and then come meet up with me when she was ready to leave. So I was always stuck waiting, and I just didn't want to wait, you know. I was tired. I didn't really feel like sitting under a tree all by myself waiting for my sister to come so we could leave. And so I went and I looked for her friends, and I saw them, and they're like, oh, Salali will be here any minute now. And she got there, and she just took one look at me and she said, what's wrong? And I just cried. Tears everywhere. Boogers everywhere. I was sad, okay? I was in 6th grade. I was still a very soft marshmallow. Okay, I'm still a very soft marshmallow, but that's just whatever. So I'm crying, and she's like, what happened? And I tell her, and her friends, you know, are listening to what I'm saying. And she's like, you know what? No, we're gonna go talk to the principal about this. And then, so, all her friends started oh, yeah, go talk to the principal, son. And to tell you that it looked like a little mob, we were just a little gang of girls. And people saw, this small... We went from, 5 to 8 to, 10. I don't know how it happened. But I'm pretty sure these people saw this little group. And they're like, what's happening? I'm going to follow them. I want to see what's going on. So we walk in. And my sister starts telling the lady there, she's like, oh, we want to talk to the principal. And she's like, no, you can't do that. You have to make an appointment. And blah, blah, blah. He can't see you right now. He's really busy. And so then there's a big commotion because there was a lot of girls just there, you know, and they were like, no, we want to speak to the principal. No, tell him to come out here. Because some of them were some of those rebel kids. So they started getting a little feisty, all right? And they started yelling. And at this point, when everyone's starting to get more riled up, no, get the principal out here, the substitute walks in. Hello, son. And I look at him and I'm like, that's him! That's the substitute teacher! And his eyes just go wide. I swear the best look in the world. I was so happy to see that. Like it was the best. It was the best feeling in the world. The fear and that man must have felt. Jeez, so great, so great. So he looks at us and he's just kind of like, oh shit, I fucked with the wrong person. No. And then my sister starts like turning around like, why are you doing this to my sister? And she started arguing and yelling at him, and so all the other girls started arguing and yelling at him. And then the principal hears the commotion and he's like, okay, what's happening? And he's like trying to get in the middle of like the group of girls and this substitute teacher, and he pushes him into his office, and he's like, no, we're not gonna do this. You girls need to leave, and like all this stuff. And eventually, you know, we get kicked out and we go home and we tell my mom, and my mom tried to make an appointment to talk with the principal, and the principal was like, oh, I'm too busy, or like it just never happened, you know. But I never saw that substitute teacher again. But anyways, that's all for this video. I have a couple of other story times that I want to tell you guys about when other stuff happened that I just kind of remembered along with this story. So I hope you guys look forward to that, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to like and comment or subscribe if you want to. I mean, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to. I mean, you could, but you don't have to. Anyways, bye.